accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-6 et sec, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by advertising in the Star Ledger, El Nuevo, Coquille, Haiti Progrès, and Luiso Americano newspapers, and by distribution to administrative offices of the Newark Public Schools. A copy of this meeting notice was forwarded to City Hall for posting. This is a regular advisory board meeting Tuesday, January 25th, 2010. Mr. Jeffries.
Here.
Ms. King.
Here.
Mr. Lamore. Mr. Lewis.
Here.
Ms. Pintor.
Here.
Mr. Rivera.
Here.
Ms. Romero. Ms. Davis Spate. Ms. White.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our January Advisory Board public meeting. Thank you for coming out this evening. We'll proceed right now to the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First on the agenda is approval of the advisory board meeting minutes for the September 21st business meeting and the September 28th public meeting. Does any member have any changes, edits, deletions to the minutes for either meeting? Do I have a motion? All in favor? We'll take this by voice vote. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, the minutes are accepted. So we'll move first to the report of the chair. And I'm sure everyone here is aware of the decision made by our superintendent, Dr. Janey, to step down as of early February. And, you know, what we wanted to do is to first thank Dr. Janey for his service to the district and to the children of this city over the last 2.5 years. And we also wanted to highlight some of the significant accomplishments that we've seen as a district under his leadership because Dr. Janey and his team have worked very hard to take our district to the next level. And the board issued a statement last week that speaks to some of these very significant accomplishments, and we want to make sure that the people in this room, the people of this city, know not only about the work of Dr. Janey and his team, but what some of that work has meant in terms of our capacity to make sure each of our children receive the kind of education that they deserve. And so I just want to highlight some points from the statement, which is available on the district website, so that folks can have a more specific sense of the accomplishment we've seen under Dr. Janey's leadership. Among other things, as folks very well know, the district increased graduation standards. We ended the district's prior practices of social promotion, enhanced staff accountability by increasing tenure charges, including an over 900% increase from 8 in 2008 to 76 in 2009, launched a series of reform-minded initiatives, including the Global Village Initiative based in the Central Ward, as well as the Brick Avon Academy here in the South Ward. And these are just tip of the iceberg. There's a series of other accomplishments. The district has received a number of honors and awards over the last 2.5 years, including the Urban Teacher Residency Program at Montclair University that was presented at one of our board meetings a couple months ago. The Council of Great City Schools Shirley Swartz Urban Impact Award. The Children Literacy Initiative's Innovation Grant, which is $11 million. The district's budget and operational practices have also received a series of industry-recognized honors and certifications. Academically, we've also seen that a foundation has been laid upon which we can build. We saw improvement on the elementary language, arts, and mathematics exams. The PSAT results showed that achievement for the middle grades was beginning to gain ground. Passing rates on the state's high school proficiency assessment increased over the last 3 years. The scores in 2010 represent the highest passing rates for first-time juniors in 3 years. Graduation rates have also increased by about 1.5%. You know, and the board was very clear to say that We deeply respect Dr. Janey's service. We deeply respect how hard he has worked for our children during his tenure. And we also deeply respect his decision to step down at this time, recognizing that he did not want to be in a position of being conflicted because the work of the district deserves a full-time superintendent, and given the state's decision not to renew the superintendent, he didn't want to be in a situation pursuing additional future opportunities while at the same time working full-time with the district. And these are things that the superintendent has said publicly. And the board, and as we closed our statement, said the board honors Dr. Janey's love and commitment to the children of Newark, as well as the intellectual rigor of his vision and expectations for Newark's children. The board wishes him nothing but success as he pursues future opportunities. And as a kind of small token, because we just got this information last week, but as a small token, we want to do much more in the weeks and months ahead. But as a small token of the board's appreciation for the work, for the effort, for the commitment, for the dedication of Dr. Janey to this district, to our children, we have a gift bag that we put together that in our own little way over the last week is designed to recognize and honor the service of the superintendent. So we have a watch, we have a shirt, we have a tie, we have a bow tie, we have a whole series of things that we thought the superintendent might appreciate. Thank you. And that's some candy. You got some candy also. You go, Dr. Janey. Thank you. Thank you so much for everything you've done for us.
Yeah, just quickly. First of all, I thought it was a book of knowledge that would last forever. You know, clothes go away, people go away, but knowledge never does. And it was our big intent and grand plan to make sure the knowledge that we had, or the knowledge that I had, would be passed on and exhibited in our youth for them to carry on for the next generation. I met a young man a couple of weeks ago. He was so proud just to have 5 minutes just going back and forth, identifying who he was and how he came about to be who he was. His name is Keyshawn, and I brought him on stage so he would be part of a public interview about his dedication to education, to his family, and to his community in the South Ward. Among other things that I recall was this business card that he gave me. Now, mind you, he's a 9th grader from Spencer Elementary School. And on his business card it says Keyshawn dot last name in New Jersey Ask 300math.com. The young brother scored a 300 in the mathematics exam, and he's not the exception in Newark. He's the same, some of you may know of him, he's the same young man who at 5 years old led the marching band at Shabazz High School. Of course, I didn't know him then. I have the benefit of knowing him now. He plays 9 instruments, speaks and writes music, is a student athlete, and I referred to him that evening as our next Paul Robeson. I mean, that's the kind of statement that we need to stay focused on as we go forward here in Newark. People are going to have ideas for change. People are going to have some plans for change. but don't let it discount what goes on in our classrooms. Don't let it reduce our good instincts to hold one another accountable. Don't let it deter us from making sure we have our focus on engaging our communities in developing good policies for this board to consider, so that the programs that may go away because of funding, the policies will never go away. The policies stand and stay fast, rooted in the belief that change happens, but it can't change the hearts and minds of people when they stand up, and their work is going to be codified in policy. So it's been good for me and my wife, but much more beneficial because of what I see in the eyes and in the behaviors of our students. I remember 2.5 years ago, almost, or at least 2 years ago, 2 years ago almost to the day, we organized something that we thought would be permanent here in Newark, and that is we would raise the expectation of our student athletes to become truly student athletes and then become scholar athletes. People doubted it. They thought I had horns on my head, and I may, but I keep them back in public. What we did, we brought about 380 people together. They came out strong at Central High School. We broke up the group into different work groups. The short of the story is that we now have standards for students to be eligible to participate in a wide variety of athletic programs and extracurricular programs. They just can't walk in and say, I'm ready. They have to qualify. We have now a standard for a grade point average. Our student athletes citywide average almost 2.6 now. And we have over 200 more students competing than we did last year. So more students are competing. And this used to be thought of, in terms of athletics, and how many people still have some game? Not many? How many people had some game? Thank you, thank you. You need to be able to do both. You got to keep this sharp, keep your perspective about your game sharp, and be game ready all of the time, and not just in the area of athletics. But it's a policy now that this board adopted, and it will not go away, and it needs to be coupled with other kinds of policies like the graduation standards and the attendance standards and the promotion standards and the grading standards, so that our students have a fair shot to succeed and get in a position to win. It's up to us as adults to focus on the and not get marginalized by agendas that'll keep you at the edges. I've seen that in Newark. You know it better than I. We need to arrest the development of that kind of behavior and shut it down and stay focused on the big things that benefit our kids. So with those brief comments, I'm going to close out this chapter in Newark's educational history and wish everyone the very best as you guys stay focused and pick up the mantle and go forward on what you know is best for our children. That's the ultimate test, what's best for our children. Thank you very much, Mr. Jeffries.
Thank you, Dr. Janey. I appreciate it. Does any board members want to say anything on the record? I know how much we greatly appreciate Dr. Janey and his service, Vice Chair.
Good evening, everyone. As our chair, Jeffrey, stated that we plan on doing something a little later on bigger for Dr. Janey. But As I look back on the 2.5 years, I remember interviewing him, and I remember prior to him coming, for years, people said, you cannot mandate children to wear uniforms. He came in, and it was done. And that was one of the first things that I saw that showed me this man was serious about trying to make a change. And as the late Dr. Betty Shabazz said, find the good and praise it. And I can say there's so many things to praise about Dr. Janey, but that was the first thing. And I know the Newark Public School District is better off from him and his administration coming here. But we'll have more to say, and we just look forward to the future for the best for Dr. Janey and for all of us, for our students in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, the Vice Chair. As we said, the board, we intend to work with philanthropic partners to do some sort of major send-off banquet and kind of more significant, substantial representation of our appreciation for Dr. Janey. So before we, Ms. White?
Dr. Janey, this is directly to you. I have to say, as a board member, there were items that I thought were great, and then there were items that I thought were superb. And I have to honestly admit that under your leadership, things like, again, the student uniforms, the change in athletic grading and criteria, the new curriculum. There are so many things that were not done for so long, and that you picked up the mantle and you did it. And for that, I say kudos, and for that, I say thank you. And for the children of Newark, I say thank you. And good luck in whatever you do next, Dr. Janey.
Mr. Lewis?
Dr. Janey, the year you came here, I just came out of high school. I just came from art school, and I must admit I was concerned. I was worried about where our district was going to go with this man who was not from Newark, coming from Washington, D.C. What could he possibly do with my school system in which I was brought up through and I was raised through, educated through? And we had times where I questioned the things you put before this board, and was times where I fully supported things that you put before this board. And when the governor made his decision to not renew your contract, I think that I was one of the board members who questioned him the most, and why didn't he renew your contract? And I was the one that wanted some answers on why didn't he renew your contract. And I believe that our school system is going in the right direction. And I thank you for putting us in the right direction. You know, we was a misguided school system, but now we're on the right track. We didn't know which way to go, but now we can see a future. So we thank you for that leadership. We thank you, and we wish you the very best wherever you go. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Mr. Rivera?
Dr. Janey, on top of what everyone else has mentioned, I also want to just thank you for your vision, the vision that you had and the belief you had in our kids and in our city. I think you stretching the vision that our district was previously at, I think really puts us in the right direction, and we're headed that way. Slowly but surely, we're getting results. We're seeing results. But I think it was your goal and your tenacity on staying on that vision that we can do more, our kids are more, and having that belief, and I think it spread, and I want to thank you for that.
Thank you, Mr. Rivera. Ms. Pintor?
Dr. Janey, I just want to say thank you for everything that you've done. But I think that everyone knows about your record because it speaks for itself and what you've done here in Newark. But I think all of us here on the board also want to say thank you for being a human being for having real discussions with us. A lot of people here don't see what goes behind the scenes in our discussions. We've had disagreements, all of us, but the one thing that we can all say is that after all of our disagreements, we've been able to come to a common ground based on what's the best for our kids. So thank you. I wish you the best. And you're a man of integrity, so good luck.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Ms. Pintor. We wanted to go immediately to the students, but we felt we couldn't do anything before we recognized and honored the service of Dr. Janey. So with that, we'll move on to greetings from the principal, Mr. Tenero, as well as a presentation from the students of Weequahic High School.
As Mr. Jeffries, as Mr. Tenero comes forward, some of you know who are part of the Weequahic family directly and the extended family of Weequahic. It is the first time in the history of the law, No Child Left Behind, that this comprehensive high school has made AYP. Now, he's going to tell you it's a start, not a finish. Just like Westside High School made AYP this year, the only two comprehensive high schools. It's a start, not a finish, but he's up to the task. And he's just in your 2 years? My third year. He's in his third year. He was appointed the same year I was. That is, I appointed him.
Thank you, Dr. Janey. I think what you said is what I talked about with Dr. Talbert, in that we certainly can't have a party because we made AYP, but we feel as though we are turning the corner. We still have a long way to go, but thank you very much for the accolades for our students. And on behalf of the students of Weequahic High School and our parents and our staff and the entire Weequahic community, I welcome the advisory board, Advisory Chair Jeffries and Vice Chair King, and all the distinguished members of the advisory board, and Dr. Janey, welcome to Weequahic High School. We are very proud of our school, and today is a very special day in the history of Weequahic High School. We didn't anticipate that we would be in our new gym today. We looked more towards next week, but a historical day, and I thanked the coaches and the team, the Bloomfield Bengals, because today we played our first game in our new gymnasium, and we are very, very proud of it, and we'll be having a celebration and an opening in the latter part of the month. And again, this is a very, very special day in the history of Weequahic High School. At this time, I'd like to introduce, we're going to have a poetry reading from recitation from one of our students, and our jazz band will perform. Shaquille Henry is a aspiring poet, and Shaquille, you're on.
No, it's all right. How's everybody doing tonight? Everybody's good? All right. I'm going to do a poem. That's basically it. The day we lock chests in cages, throw away the keys to our hearts and hug ourselves when our flesh forgot to tickle our lonely souls, will be the day we remember how to live a rib. He was caged in behind bars and self, death sentenced, Seemed to be no period. After being released out the box, he grew to call a home. He never expected this life to be so homicide in the box like this man. Mother says, he never heard of life unless it made sacrifice. This man had a smile like a slaughterhouse of Jews, eyes like two holy war gas chambers that could outturn your insides by just staring at you. He glanced at my mother and told her, I'd slit your throat, woman, I'd slit you open like a casket in the black ghetto. He had skin like King Herod, notorious for killing kings, killing God's sons. Some of us wake up with coffins in our yawns, the way this man did, able to send the mourning, to speak death like a Nazi bearing a cross. Forgot the blissful sunrise, taught us to rise. Instead, we fall into our womb, repatch ribs, lapse into sleep, eye close lids and chest, and forget the present the day has given us an apple. She hangs from a stem of one of them families. Mother says she looks like a tree with no branches, has hair like heartbroken roots, shattered across a field of mudslides and downfalls. Her father had a bad case of gardening and overdosing wives in the dirt, didn't know how to plant seeds and ensure their growth. When he was done, he left Lily and Daisy to dance in a household of vines and stem cell needles. Her family hasn't researched her in 10 years. She sits here so lonely like Hades, being tricked and cast down too many times from family, left with memories and memoirs with a bloodline diary like a landscape, and every word tumbling from the bondage of a mouth like a bloodline diary with a landscape and coffin of burning bushes. Mother says you can see a God in her smile, a serpent. He told her, this world is voluminous of still smothered men with faces like asphalts. We are still living in the Industrial Revolution with men who have hearts like magnets that can attract their wants without the protons negative. If an atom was in an atom with skin like a proton, man will have forbid eating from the apple. I wonder how many of us wake up with our eyes closed. If the sky was blind, how many stars would we shoot for? How many stars would it shoot back at us? Do we know what we want or what we need? Don't forget that death and dreams were born in the same womb. Sleeping became the coma we ever fall into as gods in our flesh, to know that there are things in this world we don't know and don't need. Sometimes it's better to keep your eyes closed. Hope. We came from dust and hope from clay. The rib is one essential of life and not death. Although some of us are at rage with our disabilities, we are still beautiful and different from those grapes of wrath. Be careful what you wish for. Do not chase your wants. If you are not a genie, then do not chase your wants. Your needs need you. In the mental nursing home, my mother sees a Pandora box of Eden's garden. Life has its problems. We become mechanics as doctors, hoping to solve them with our sorrow. If you wake up daily to a sky and a sun, then you know through this Pandora of a life, we make it through every day with hope clutched in our smiles. Thank you.
Very.
That's Shaquille Henry, Weequahic 11th grader. Another round of applause, please, for Mr. Shaquille Henry.
Thank you, Shaquille, and we're very proud of you.
Outstanding.
And now, under the direction of Mr. Michael Page, the Weequahic High School Jazz Band.
Thank you. I'd just quickly like to introduce the students. Don't remember too many names. It's Rashad Crawford on keyboard, Kareem Lawrence on guitar, Kyle McRae on drums, Imani Taylor on trumpet, Shane Stansel on saxophone, tenor saxophone, Richard Quay on trumpet, Clarence Jackson on bass, Zephaniah West is on drums right now, Timothy Tillman on drums, and Devion Woods on keyboard. And our next and final note will be a song called Mr. Magic.
Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Our students work hard. Thank you very much.
Mr. Payne, would you have our students stand in the middle so they can be seen and give the adults hope? Would you bring them over? Stand in this. There you go.
Hopefully some future musicians. And
Yes,
I would
not-
like to point out one thing, the skill that it takes to improvise. It takes a lot of courage and energy to put forth into the music to make it sound quite right.
Mr. Page, could we get the names of all these young people?
Again, that's Rashad Crawford was on keyboard, and also Davion Woods.
Mr. Payne, would you have them raise their hand or
Yes.
shake a little or something?
Please raise your hand when I mention your name. Rashad Crawford, keyboard.
All right.
Kareem Lawrence on guitar. Kyle McRae on drums. Imani Taylor on trumpet. our lone female. Shane Stansel on tenor saxophone, good solo, thank you. Richard Quay on trumpet, good solo also, thank you again. Clarence Jackson on bass guitar, solid. Zephaniah West, he's my gift. He's an extremely talented young man. They're all talented, but he shows some promise. And Timothy Tillman on drums, and I mentioned everyone. That's everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Davion Woods again on keyboard. Sorry.
We want to again thank Principal Tonero, Mr. Shaquille Henry for that unbelievable poetry selection, and again the Weequahic High School Jazz Band under the leadership and direction of Mr. Michael Page. Thank you. We'll now move to the presentation report of Dr. Janie. Anything else you want to add or anything, Dr. Janie?
Just got to go to the students, recognizing 2 students at Weequahic.
Okay, great.
And John.
Okay.
Mr. Tenero, would you come back to the podium? Now, this is the right of a principal to put forward 2 of his scholastic students who have earned the honor of being looked at and referred to as student scholars. So I won't say any more. You have the home court advantage, you have the right, and they've earned their right to be elevated up. So it's your show.
We have 2 young ladies who, this was very easy to pick the young ladies who would be honored tonight. Sparkle Moore is a senior. She is currently an AP honors student, calculus and English literature, who was accepted to 4 historically black colleges and universities, Shaw, Bennett, Bethune-Cookman, and Tuskegee. She is the youth president of Pathways to College, a member of Rutgers University's REACH program, intern for the Homeland Security Program internship. During her junior year, she was a participant in the National Youth Leadership Summit sponsored by the United States Congress. She received New Jersey Senator Ron Rice's Leadership Award, and in her sophomore year, she was #1 in her class and was nominated for the Junior Nationals Honor Society. In her freshman year, she was #2 in her class, and currently she is #1 in the senior class at Weequahic High School. Her name is Sparkle Moore. And this certificate of excellence to Sparkle Moore, student, Weequahic High School. Student Sparkle is commended for her strong academic standing, community service, awards, and honors, which have placed her on the distinguished roster of the AP Honor Students as a member of Rutgers University REACH program and as an internship with the U.S. Homeland Security Program. This is being presented by Dr. Clifford Janey, Superintendent, and Mr. Shavar Jeffries, Advisory Board Chairperson. And our next recipient, Tecante Gagnon, a senior, currently serves as mentor and tutor to local elementary school students. She is also an AP student in calculus and English literature. She's a member of the Drama Club, editor of the school's yearbook, enrolled in the Allied Health Program Anatomy and Physiology, which is aligned with the UMDNJ courses. She will earn 6 credits toward college when she completes the program. She has been accepted to Felician College, Caldwell College, New Jersey City University, and Bloomfield College. I'm honored to present to you Tecante Gagnon, and again, and she's the salutatorian. And this, again, this certificate of excellence, DeConte is commended, I'm reading from the certificate, is commended for her strong academic standing, community service, awards, and honors, which have placed her on the distinguished roster of AP honors students and a member of the University of Medicine and Dentistry of the New Jersey Allied Health Program. This, again, is being presented to you by Dr. Clifford Janey, Superintendent, and Mr. Shavar Jeffries, the Advisory Board Chairperson. Congratulations.
Excellent. Excellent.
Once again, congratulations to Ms. Sparkle Moore, Ms. DeConte Ganon. We've seen for the last 10 minutes what everything we do is about, the unbelievable talent of our young people, from the academic achievements to artistic achievements. Everything we do is designed to make this happen. So thank you again to the young people for what you've done and what you continue to do every day. We'll now move to the Vice Chair and parent recognitions.
Once again, good evening again. Good evening. Okay. I just want to say, in terms of the students, that this is a wonderful night, and especially with our superintendent, this is just showing some of his work. I mean, we look at the academics and the artistic talent that our students have. And then as listening to about the young lady and hearing her community service, what more can we ask for? Someone that's trying hard, who's doing well in school, but they find time to be involved in the community. This is really, we need to give them another round of applause. And also, we know it's many things that plague our community, and we always hear these things in our community, what's wrong, what happened to this one, but this is some of the things that the Star Ledger needs to write. They need to be here this evening and write about our children. Our children are all not out doing wrong things. They're doing good things, so I want to thank them so much for that. I even thought when the band was playing Watermelon Man, I thought Nancy Wilson was going to come out singing or something. I mean, they were second to none. So, moving forward. One important thing that we all know, it takes all of us, and the African proverb is just not to just be said that it takes a village. We know it takes all of us. And sometimes we don't know the work that's done behind the scene, even with the board members, and specifically with Dr. Janey, sometimes running from different meetings, and he meets all kinds of people, and then he said, I'm going to meet you at this time, and you come there, and he's with parents. And I keep waiting, and he said, I have to wait. He's with parents. So I want to take this time to bring up two parents that Dr. Janey has been talking about. We talk about a blue ribbon school, but he said, what about a blue ribbon PTA? I said, now what is he coming up with? And it made sense because we need our parents and our community involved. So I want to bring up Denise Crawford, a parent and a mentor, and Sheila Ann Peters, the PTA president at Quitman Street School. They would like to do a presentation for Dr. Janey.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Dr. Janey. I just wanted to, well, first let me back up and give homage to the house because I am alumni of Weequahic High School, class of 91. Yes, Indians in the house. And I just wanted to say to the band and to the honorees tonight that you guys really inspired me. And for Dr. Janey, just to be in your presence as well as the presence of all this greatness, all this talent, I was inspired to recollect a song that I sang at one of our first meetings together. And I want to sing it a little differently, if I may. It's just a prayer that I just want to pray over you. increase and enlarge your territory, that God would do that for you. Bless him, bless him, oh Lord, bless him indeed, enlarge his territory, oh Lord, bless him indeed. I pray for your increase. I pray for your increase. 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 Oh Lord, bless him indeed, enlarge his territory. Oh Lord, won't you bless him indeed? I pray for increase. I pray for your increase. Hallelujah. I pray for your increase. For your increase. So, I just want to honor you tonight because I believe my mother used to tell us that, you know, you give me my flowers while I'm living, while I'm breathing.
That's right. That's right.
So we just wanted to, on behalf of the Quitman Street Community School PTA, if I don't know if we need to meet halfway or I want to put this in your hands.
Could you please come up here to present it to Dr. Janey, please? Oh, he said he's going there. He's the man of the people. All right. Up there? All right.
Anywhere right there. You want to face the camera as well.
Well, on behalf of the Quitman Street Community School PTA, we just wanted to bless you with this plaque. It just simply says, PTA, Every Child, One Voice, honors Superintendent Dr. Clifford B. Janey for your guidance, support, and exemplary leadership. Presented to you January 25th, 2011, and our slogan is at the bottom from Quitman PTA, every child is your child. So we wanted to give that.
Thank you very much, and I'm a member of the PTA at Quitman School.
Come back.
Oh.
You're not done.
We're not done with our presentation, and Ms. Crawford is going to.
Okay, Ms. Peters is going to read it to you, but you know, I like to say things from my heart. It's just like Ms. Peters said, that you have to give people their due, and we give awards for what people, the work that people have done, not for what people say that you didn't do. We're giving it for what you did do. Mm-hmm. And so I am Essex County PTA's second vice president. I am also on the state board of the PTA. I'm over the awareness committee, substance awareness committee. And so Ms. Peters is going to read this, and then I'm going to end it up. So just one moment. So don't go anywhere. You don't rush out of here. Okay. Ms. Peters.
Okay. If I could just have all of the Quitman PTA stand while I read this.
Any PTA.
Any PTA, anybody that's ever given their $5. We have our executive board back there. We have, yes, they're standing and they're standing and they're standing. Ms. White, please stand. Yes. Yeah. Okay. There should be some advisory board members standing. Yeah, there we are. All right. Proud members of the Equipment PTA, we just want to thank you so much, and we're just going to read this together. Well, I'm going to read it on behalf of the whole entire Equipment Street PTA. Dear Dr. Janey, congratulations on receiving the Meritorious Service Award. You have been selected for this honor in recognition of your lead role in an outstanding and successful endeavor that contributed to the welfare of New Jersey's children. This award recognizes that you have given time, effort, and talent in a specific activity that promotes child advocacy. We appreciate the work you have done on behalf of all children and PTA. Thank you for your contribution that you have made. We applaud your efforts in making a difference. And this comes sincerely from the State President, Judy Hyde, New Jersey PTA President. Also, the New Jersey Congress of Parents and Teachers gives you this Meritorious Service Award. It is hereby granted to Dr. Clifford B. Janey, presented in recognition of an outstanding service in support of the welfare of children and youth. And this is coming and presented by Newark PTAs. All the Newark PTAs that are here, we just represent this and present this to you. So this is the Meritorious Service Award. And then I have, in this envelope, Dr. Janey, from the first time I met him and asked him to be a PTA member, he has said yes, and not only for himself, but also his lovely wife. So he and his wife have been members of the Equipment PTA since he has been the superintendent of Newark Public Schools. So in this envelope are your PTA membership cards. And there's one more thing.
Well, this is not a watch or that little book that they was talking about, but this is from all the parents and from the state board. It's like being in college or the first time that you met your wife and she said she wanted to be pinned, so we're pinning you. And we thank you out of the bottom of our hearts for coming in this town. And it was said that we helped you with the slogan, changing hearts and minds, the value education. Sometimes you got to connect the dots, the heart and the mind together. And tonight we say, Dr. Clifford B. Janey, you have done that for not only parents, but for children. And we thank you with honor. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. It means something very, very, very special coming from parents. In many, many ways, you are our ultimate customers, and we listen, we hear, and then we have to act, and then we have to be accountable. But this means a lot coming from those whom we serve, and you've entrusted your children to us, and we do the very best we can to honor that trust. It's very special coming from you guys.
Thank you for everything. Okay. Oh, that's your box. Thank you.
I wanted to put it back in.
You got so much, right? Oh, no. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Ms. Crawford, Ms. Peters, and all the members of the PTA. Thank you so much. And once again, as we talk about parents, we know the parents are our first teachers. And once again, when we talk about the success of our students, we're talking about everyone coming together to make a difference. Parents, community people, business people, everyone coming together, we can make a difference for our children. Each day throughout the district, hundreds of parents are making a difference in our schools, supporting their children's academic success by volunteering. The Newark Public School Advisory Board Community Relations Committee wishes to recognize and express its appreciation to those parents and community members who devote their time, share their talents and resources with children, staff, and administrators to improve the quality of our schools and the lives of our children. Each month, this board will continue to recognize parents, guardians who support our district-wide parental involvement program consisting of activities focusing on parenting, communicating, volunteering, learning at home, decision-making, and community involvement. Nominated by their child school administration, we are proud to announce tonight's award recipient. From the East and Central Region, Jacqueline James from Burnett Street School. From the South Region, Tanisha Johnson from Bergora Avenue School. From the West Region, Janita Bailey Robinson from Westside High School. And last but certainly not least, the North Region, Maria Medina from Rafael Hernandez School. Congratulations.
We have a car that's blocking someone in. If you have, do you know, a Jeep Laredo, license plate number YYZ43N. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Once again, this is a night that we try to recognize, as the young lady said, give people their roses, their flowers while they're here. And all of us have something to give, and sometimes we may and we should have constructive criticism of things we think aren't correct, but also we should do like Michael Jackson say, look at the man in the mirror and see what can we do better, how we can not only make our school district better, but make our city better. And I think we need to recognize, I know we need to recognize many people, but it's one gentleman that I've been watching for a while, and he actually took me back to some time ago, some short period of time ago, when people were trying to really make a change seem like everywhere. This gentleman is a teacher at Weequahic High School. And not only he's a teacher, just as the student who was doing very well in school, but she did community service, this gentleman is doing a lot of things in this community to try to make a better community. And that's what I'm talking about. When we look at others, we can all do certain things. As Martin Luther King said, it's things all of us can do to make a better world, to bring good into the world. It's things in the community certain people can do better than others. But this gentleman is an activist, and I think I'll come down there. I want to bring forward a teacher, an activist, a friend to the Newark community in general, but in particular to Weequahic High School students. His name is Mr. Bashir Akinyele. We have a resolution for Mr. Akinyele, and we want to make sure it's signed first, and we will make sure you get the copy. I just want to read this to you, and I want to say, whereas Mr. Bashir Akinyele was born in Newark, New Jersey, on January the 23rd, so that means he just had a birthday, in 1969, spent his formative years in communities in Newark and East Orange, New Jersey. And whereas Bashir decided to attend Newark Technical High School, where he graduated in 1987, and then went on to Essex County College, where he discovered a love for track as he fulfilled his requirements for track scholarship. And whereas he had a life-changing experience, he met two men who would become a lifelong friend, Dr. Linwood Gunther, a historian and a history professor at Essex County College, and Edward Halim Rowley, a student at Essex County College and a member of the Nation of Islam. And whereas both men inspired Bashir to examine his purpose in life and take a more meaningful role in the community where he had developed as a young man. And whereas Bashir realized that education would strengthen his contributions and help him to engage the academic and legislature and entities that impact civic development, and whereas he enrolled in Seton Hall University, where he became a straight A student, and later Columbia University, where he also became an honor student. And whereas he became committed to bringing all of his skills to bear on the community service for the benefit of the future generation, and whereas Bashir believed that anti-violence message was essential in stemming the tide against violence in the communities, and decided to devote his time to this important issue. And whereas Bashir, as a 20-year community activist, has sponsored and coordinated 79 anti-violence meetings, marches, and campaigns on behalf of local neighborhoods throughout the city of Newark. And whereas he set a stellar example of civic support and increased the awareness of the important contribution that students of all ages can fulfill on behalf of their communities. Now, therefore, on this 25th day of January in the year of 2011, the Newark Public School Advisory Board, under the leadership of Chairperson Shavar Jeffries and Vice Chair Barbara King, do resolve to support the Newark Anti-Violence Coalition in the activities that strengthen civic education among the city, elementary, and high school students. I just want to say I'm proud of you, congratulations, and keep up the good work. I want to say this is not just to give him an award, but to bring all of us closer, to do more as much as we can to make Newark and our country a better place for our students and our citizens to live. Just congratulations. He's gonna say a few words.
All right. Peace, family. In my history class, I always start with Hotep. That means peace. And I say that because unfortunately we live in communities that are plagued by an abnormal levels of violence. And this is why I joined the Newark Anti-Violence Coalition. Yes, I'm a history teacher, but in the 16 years I've been an educator, I've lost 30 students to violence. 30. And when the call was given by our good brother Raz Baraka to come into the streets and block traffic, to bring attention to the issue of violence, I jumped at the opportunity because of the loss of my students. I think about them often, so I'm honored, but my comrades from the Newark Anti-Violence Coalition are here. Some of them are here. Can you stand up? My comrades from the Newark Anti-Violence Coalition. These are some brave brothers and sisters. Some of them are educated, some are not, but they're all concerned about our neighborhoods and our communities that are plagued by violence, and they're taking a stand. I'm honored to be recognized, but I can't do this alone. It's my comrades from the Newark Anti-Violence Coalition who are going out there every single Wednesday, shut down traffic to bring attention to the issue of violence. And this Wednesday, tomorrow, we'll be on Schley and Hawthorne Avenue, where a former student, unfortunately, let me just say this, a former student here at Weequahic was killed last week, all right? Played football here at Weequahic High School. So we'll be there at 5 o'clock tomorrow. Rain or shine, snow, it don't matter. We're gonna be there, but I'm honored. Thank you, Dr. Janey. Thank you, Advisory Board, for recognizing us. I'm honored. We're all honored. Peace.
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Lewis?
Mr. Chair, Bashir, this all started when I was in high school, in Arts High School, and I decided to fight the issue of violence, and I didn't have that much help. Bashir Akinlele was the first one to step to the aid to come help the students of Newark Public Schools lead a major march. And from that day, he's been a mentor of mine. We traveled to KISS FM together, Hot 97. We was out there, rain or shine. And this man had really been an inspiration to me and made me understand my ancestors and what they fought for, and made me study my history. So he's not just a history teacher, but he's a mentor to a lot of Newark Public Schools students who he not only teach them why they are students of Newark Public Schools, but he also followed them as they leave Newark Public Schools and keep up with them and build a relationship with not just them, but their family. So on this day, I would also like to salute Bashir Akinlele for his good work.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Lewis. Thank you, Vice Chair. Thank you, Mr. Akinyele, for everything you do for our children, everything you do for our broader community each and every day. God bless you. Vice Chair, do you have anything left in your... You have anything left, Vice Chair? Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Vice Chair King, for those. Thanks again to our parents for their service every day. If we could have a little bit of quiet, we're going to turn to our student representative, Ms. Sulayat Olasanya, for the representative of our student representative. And I think it's going to be very important that we're able to hear the presentation from our wonderful student representative to the board, Ms. Sulayat Olasanya. Sulayat.
Good evening, Dr. Janey, Chair Jeffries, Vice Chair King, and the rest of the advisory board and the community. On January 19th, this past week, the student leadership group met, and we were able to discuss some of the problems that
Hold on, Ms. Sulayat. Can we have quiet in the back, please? Sulayat works very hard behind the scenes to prepare these presentations, so I think it's very important for everyone in the public to hear about the work of our wonderful student representative, Sulayat. So we could have a little bit of quiet in the back. We would appreciate that. Thank you. If someone could close the doors, I think that would help too. Can we have someone close that door right there, please, so we can hear from our student representative, Suliat, please? Thank you. Thank you very much.
We were able to decide that the staff and academic-related issues were the most important, and here are a number of ideas and concerns that were listed. There needs to be a district balance of HESPA review in college preparations. The idea was brought that because in school and HESPA SATs classes do not provide sufficient information, and that they proposed that Saturday classes might be appropriate. On the issues of college preparations, it was suggested that starting as early as sophomore year would be very nice, and even freshman year if possible. And the process of applying to college and financial aid becomes too foreign to seniors by the time they are seniors. And we are proposing that individual schools actually have college days apart from the ones that Mr. Leone has in the beginning of the year, maybe on report card days or in convocations. We have established that seniors are at a serious disadvantage when they are not able to connect with their guidance counselors. And what we realize is that that equates to them not actually being able to achieve great things when it comes to applying to colleges and their potential goals. And there was a high demand of staff members who are willing, and that means that they want more staff members who do what they're meant to do. That is to teach and support and encourage. They feel that some staff members in certain cases do not support their ideas, and what they felt was that if students can't get the support and encouragement they needed at home, that the school should be able to provide that. And their prime concerns were that there's a miscommunications in each school, and we came to the unanimous decision that there needs to be uniformity in information provided to all schools. And a list of things were shared. That is that parents do not attend report card days, and then individual students receive their report cards whether failing or not. Mandated parent-teacher meetings are not occurring on report card days, and seniors who are not aware of state financial opportunities such as FAFSA and CSS profiling, which are needed to graduate, they're not aware of them. And progress reports distributions are not uniformed, and that makes the students and parents not aware of what's going on as to their academic achievement levels. Students honestly were not aware of Naviance despite how much we've spoken about it, and we, as student leaders, we proposed that making announcements in our schools would be a step further into going in the right direction, but it would also be nice for the board to support in any way they can, and for parents to try to be concerned about their children's academic welfare. And on a more cheerful note, we were aware that the application for the trip to Ghana in April is now available. And on February 9th, we are hoping to meet with the Youth Media Symposium. And those are students from around Newark who are willing to share the ideas and issues to us. And with that said, we hope that the board can assist us, the community could assist us, and have a good night.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Suliat. Every last issue we raise, we'll make sure we'll work with you and the district to make sure each and every one of those issues are addressed. Thank you so much for your leadership. Suliat is a wonderful example of what we want all our kids to be. She's a leader, she's brilliant, she's intelligent, and we're so blessed to have her on our board. So we'll definitely work with you, Suliat, to make sure those issues are addressed. Thank you. We'll now move to the voting portion of the agenda. First up is the resolution concerning the field trips. Does any board member have any questions, issues, concerns, anything you want to raise with respect to that resolution? Do we have a motion first? Do we have a second? Ms. Pollack can call the roll, please.
Mr. Jeffries?
Yes.
Ms. King?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Pintor?
Yes.
Mr. Rivera?
Yes.
Ms. Davis Spade? Ms. White?
We'll move on to the financial parts of the agenda. We have 31 items up for vote. Tonight, does any board member have any question about any item among the financial components? Mr. Lewis?
Yes. I have questions about 7886. No, it's reference number 7886. I believe it's the benefits packet. P17. No, it's not. It's not P17. It's P15.
15?
P15. The benefits. The benefit. Let's talk about the benefits. Package, dental package, vision package, and healthcare. Ms. Wilson, can you explain this packet to me a little more?
Good evening, advisory board members, Chair Jeffries, Vice Chair King, Superintendent Janey, Mr. Lewis. With regards to the items that you have identified which relate to dental benefits, prescription benefits, and health insurance benefits for our employees, it is necessary that we acquire those services. There are no changes occurring in benefits, I think, except for the dental benefits. Is that correct, Ms. Robinson? Okay. So we are advising, the board is actually accepting our entering into these agreements. They're not newly negotiated agreements. They exist already. Please understand that with regards to fringe benefits, as they are known as a package, whether they be dental, prescription, major medical, podiatry, vision, they are negotiable with our individual unions. So there has to be an agreement between both the union and the district as to which carriers will represent the employees. With regards to our health benefits, we are in the HBP plan, which is the State Employee Health Benefits Plan, which is done by Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield Major Medical. Any questions?
Now, I see right here, you have National Vision, and then down it had Elegant Eyes. Now, those two different contracts.
Yes, they are. There are dental, vision, I'm sorry, as does dental, has something called an open panel and a closed panel, which basically means in-network and out-of-network. So when you go to in-network doctors or providers, you pay a lower cost because that provider has agreed to accept the cost that is sort of a standard cost. If you choose to have some selectivity and choice, then you go to someone who is out of network, which in turn could cost you some out-of-pocket expenses. Elegant Eyes, I know, is one of our closed panel groups, and National, I'm not sure who they represent. Stace? Any idea? Off the top of your head? National. You can hear me. Let's see.
National.
National represents open and closed panel visions for Local 32, Building Trades Council, New York Teachers Union, CASA, and unaffiliated staff. Okay?
Okay. Also, if you could explain to me the whiteboards on 7867. I don't know what P is. I wasn't going by P's. I was a pink sheet.
I didn't hear you clearly. What's the number?
It's 7867.
P14, thank you.
P14.
No.
P14.
struggling tonight. I do apologize for the delay. P14 is the purchase and implementation of interactive whiteboards into the curriculum. We are, in fact, we have gone out for competitive contracting, which has allowed us to enter into a contract with CDWG of Vernon Hills, Illinois. They will provide 6 tasks associated with the implementation of the whiteboards, and this is to service our special ed population. White are interactive boards, much as the board you've seen in the superintendent's conference room, that can be connected to the internet, provide stimulation to our students for advanced learning associated with technology infused into the curriculum.
Okay. Now, is this going in all our schools or just the schools that deal with it?
This is probably, I think, let me see if I can find the actual, I think it was all of them, because based on the fact that they're performing 6 tasks, those 6 tasks, if I remember correctly, are associated with some training, teaching teachers specifically how to use this particular technology. It has a wealth of opportunity for us to infuse it into what we do in our daily lives, and we are working to ensure that those boards are available in more and more of our classrooms as we go forward.
Okay. Now, on P16.
P16
Video on demand.
is video on demand, digital media management and distribution system. Where's the rest of your notes? Because it's cut off. P16, it ends. Mr. Lewis, you're testing me tonight. I have my notes here. This is once again through special ed. The vendor will provide specific technology that utilizes intelligent digital media delivery while facilitating visual instruction and learning in the classroom. We hope that this will assist in the expansion of a project-based learning and video on demand digital media management and distribution. Once again, used to stimulate our special ed population or classified population to participate in classroom activities. We find that this technology has also been successful in reaching pupils with a variety of learning styles, especially those with special needs.
So it's basically the same thing as P14.
It's not the whiteboards.
I'm saying it's do the same thing as...
It is another way of, you know, that one of the areas that are associated with the core curriculum standards is associated with the infusion of technology into the curriculum. So in order to do that, we do look for things other than laptops, PCs. You know, some districts are using iPads. I'm not suggesting that here because we don't have the money right now. But looking at how we can infuse technology, how we can make it active, interactive for our students, and therefore capture all of the varied learning styles that may be out there.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lewis. Any remaining questions for Ms. Wilson? Do we have a motion to pass the financial items on the agenda 1 through 31? First and second, call the roll, Ms. Pollack.
Mr. Jeffries?
Yes?
Ms. King? Yes. Mr. Lewis? Ms. Pintor? Yes. Mr. Rivera? Yes. Ms. Davis-Spate? Ms. White?
We'll move to the public participation part of our agenda. Ms. Pollack.
Okay. This is the public participation portion of the meeting.
Mr. Chair, before we go to that, can I say something before we go to this?
Is this new business or is this?
This is an issue I want to address before we go to the public participation.
Does it deal with the parts we just voted on? If it's new business, we have to deal with that new business.
Okay, we'll do it after the public.
Okay, we'll bring it new business. All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Ms. Pollack.
Okay, as we know, at this point, everybody who comes forward who has signed up to speak will be allotted 3 minutes, up to 3 minutes for comment.